Welcome to DIY 360. This is my pal Madilyn Bailey. She lives, she's told me a million times what tiny town she lives in Wisconsin. I can still remember. It's like, I think it's 50 miles. If you go 50 miles west of nowhere and then go another 20 miles past that, I think that's where she's from. But we've been pals for a while. I produced EP on her about a year ago, and actually I think we met through a mutual friend, a producer in LA named John Fields, he lived here for a long time, and he did all the Jonas Brothers records and Switchfoot and Semisonic, and he's really a great bass player and producer. And he alerted me to her, and then we met and we did this record together. But the reason I wanted to have her in for DIY 360 is because she's got a story unlike anything that I've seen in the music business, which all starts with YouTube. And basically at this point, I think, aren't you like the majority stockholder in YouTube? You basically own YouTube now, isn't that right?
Oh, no.
But you could. No, seriously, if you go to her YouTube channel and check out how many total, give me a rough number of the total number of hits on your YouTube channel as of like now.
80 million.
80 million. So I thought that was, yeah.
Thank you.
I have 3 platinum records and I have like 90 hits on mine. So I mean, I'm sure that there's something wrong with the counter on my page. But anyway, how old are you now, Maddie?
I'm 20.
You're 20. And how old were you when you first picked up a guitar and started messing around with music?
Oh, geez. I mean, I've been singing since diapers, and
So you started singing before strumming?
oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And then I was writing songs before I picked up an instrument. I think about 7 was the first time I put together like lyrics that, you know.
What sort of lyrical topics were you dealing with at 7?
Oh, you know, fights with your friends.
And that's the other thing that I noticed, working together, is that your focus on songwriting is what really caught my interest, because that's kind of my pet thing, number one. And number two, I think, in my opinion, there's more great singers and certainly more great musicians around than there are great songwriters. And so we actually co-wrote a couple of things together, and this is the thing I like about songwriting. It's the great democratizer, the great equalizer, because I'm at least a couple of years older than you, but when we're writing together, we're complete equals. We're arguing about lines and getting in there, and I noticed that you have a true love of language and words, and you're on the lyrical level. It's just like working with any other songwriter for me, and so it's hard to find people to work with like that. So that's what I was one of the things I was most impressed about in the process of making this record. But I thought it would be great to have you in here and to talk about songwriting and talk about this YouTube Odyssey, because I assume when you first started getting into music and stuff, that this YouTube thing is, in a way, something that kind of just happened to you. I mean, that wasn't your beginning, your grand plan from the beginning, was it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I started out, I always knew I wanted to do music, but being from Boyceville, which is,
Boyceville.
nowhere, there's like 1,000 people in my town. There wasn't, there weren't options for music, and then I have tons of siblings, and so there wasn't the option of like, picking up and moving somewhere that was good for the, me and the music. And so I was like, well, what other option do I have than the internet? So it was convenient, and I just started posting videos, and it just took off for me. I mean, I was happy to get 100 views, and now I'm at like, 80 million views, and so.
I mean, it must have surprised you when it really started like going freako crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I started posting videos, and they were just songs like of covers that I liked, and I would mix in a few originals, and then it just started taking off, and I'm like, wow, I mean, I must be doing something right. And then I started studying YouTube and how it worked, and like the algorithms and the analytics and all that stuff, and then I just decided I was going to become my own expert on how to do it myself with YouTube.
Well, that's the other thing I noticed, I think, that separates you from the pack is, number one, using words like algorithms and analytics. I've worked with a lot of bands, and those aren't words that come up in the studio. And if and they did come up, the band would kind of go like this. Even me, I just have to pretend like I know what you're talking about. But I guess what also impressed me about your work ethic, well, besides the fact that you're a very focused and hard worker, is you're kind of a logical and practical person, and that doesn't often go hand in hand with great songwriters. Most great songwriters are clinically insane and often hospitalized, and you just kind of have this kind of like business-like attitude, not while we're writing, but then after the song is done, of like, okay, how do I get this out there? And because the YouTube thing is it's kind of complicated, I mean, to the outside viewer.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of little things that go into YouTube, and I mean, I've always been, like, music is definitely my favorite part of it, and the songwriting is my absolute favorite part of it, but I mean, I've always been super interested in the business side of how exactly does it work. And so when I started digging deeper into YouTube, I was like, oh, well, I mean, there are, like, systems and methods and
tricks.
Tricks.
And you monetized your YouTube channel with advertisements, and you're now at the point where you are actually making a living. You could move out and finance your life from your YouTube channel.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I monetize my videos through Sony, which is a company that then goes out and gets the licensing for all the songs and then allows me to be able to cover these songs legally. And then I sell all of the songs on iTunes, and that's where a big portion of it comes from, is iTunes.
So what was the first song you put up on YouTube, and how old were you?
Oh, gosh. On YouTube? We'll just say on my channel. My first cover was a cover of Mad World by Tears for Fears.
Oh, that's actually a really great song.
Yeah, and I was I don't know how old I was, pretty young, maybe like 16, and I was like staring at that camera. I just looked like a deer in headlights. I'm like, please let the song be done soon. I was so nervous. I had no idea what I was doing, but.
Plus, out where you live, looking like a deer is actually pretty dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, there's going to be a lot of jokes about you living out in the sticks during the next hour or so. Okay.
Bring them on.
And so when you put that video up, did it start going crazy right away, or was it more of a building thing?
It was a bit of a building thing. I mean, when I posted that video and it got past 100 views, I was like, yeah, woohoo. And then, I posted my next video, and then that one went past 100,000 views, and I was like, wait a second. And so then, I don't know, I just found this pattern of when you post consistently, like my posting schedule is every 10 to 15 days, so you post consistently, you post songs that are modern, do better, just because those are being searched more on YouTube. So you post those consistently, and you have then a consistent flow of people watching those videos and then coming into your channel and subscribing.
And so how many subscribers do you have now, ballpark?
I have a little over 500,000.
Subscribers. So like you own them. You can like, it's like an army.
It is a little bit like an army. Every time I post a video, it updates them that I posted the video. So it's like an instant notification every time I post a video.
And they call themselves Maddicts, right?
Yeah, they do. They're pretty awesome.
Okay, there must be, I know doesn't your mom, like, does she still sort through the emails? Because there's got to be some creepy emails that you get from YouTube. Have you had to put up some lines of defense against this to protect yourself,
Yeah, I mean, I call it the line of defense. Yeah. No, she definitely, my parents have both taken a much more prevalent role in my career as of lately, and so they've been helping with emails and like Facebook and Twitter and keeping up with fans, and it's definitely really fun, but there's some really creepy people out there.
Yeah, well, that's the internet. I mean, it's like everyone's got an internet connection, and so that's. The other thing I wanted to talk about is your career trajectory, because did we do that record together like 2 years ago-ish, or a year and a half? Or?
Well, we started it 2 years ago. We released it last year, 2 days ago.
And then during the process of that, you started working with this company that, and I mean, I learned about this from you because it's not a part of the business I've been involved with. But talk about what's the name of the company that you signed with, that you're currently signed with?
Yeah, I signed an independent label deal with a company called Keep Your Soul Records, and it's run by Jake Coco. And
Is that his real name, Coco, or is that an LA thing?
It is his real name. I asked him that.
Seriously?
I was like, I'm so jealous, Coco.
He's a liar. You're a liar. Coco, for real?
It's for real.
Okay.
But so when I first started talking to these people, the first thing I noticed was that they know their stuff about YouTube. They know what they're talking about, and not a whole lot of people who even are posting videos on YouTube know exactly what they're doing or what they're using. And so these people are just super smart, and I was like, hey, I want to work with you guys. I see what you're doing. And so I signed an independent label deal with them, and I fly out to LA about once a month or once every other month, and we have access to, I don't know, like a $5 million studio. It's fantastic. It's called Tailor Made Studios. And yeah, so we fly out there, we make covers. I make them in bulk, like 5 to 10 cover songs, and then I come home to Wisconsin and...
Video and music.
Video and video, yeah.
So
video
how long,
and
let's talk about the music part first. They have a studio that you're in, that you're recording in,
Yep.
and they're just cranking out the tracks out of that
yeah,
place.
basically. It's me, and there are 7 other artists. And so basically, when I fly in, I have 3 to 4 days to get my stuff done and get out of there, because then the next artist is coming in for the next 3 to 4 days.
So you have to have your thing,
Yeah.
your song together
Yeah.
before you go. You obviously have it picked out and you're already like totally together.
Yeah, for the most part.
And you have always done your own guitar tracks, and then they do the rest of the track around you?
Yeah, I mean, Jake plays a lot of the stuff too, just because sometimes I'll come to the studio and he'll already have like it all tracked, and I just walk in and lay down my vocal, and then...
But you're playing guitar on most of them, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. And then the video, what takes longer? The video must take longer than the music.
I mean, the music takes me about, it takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to lay down a vocal. I sing the song like 3 or 4 times, and then that's it. And we usually try to take I sing it, and it's a 1 through take, and if there's like a bad note, then we'll like replace it. But for the most part, it's totally alive, no cuts. And then, so that takes me 30, 40 minutes. Then the video takes maybe an hour. We do one shot where it's straight on, one shot from the side, another shot where it's straight on but a little farther back, and then a guitar shot, and then
then they edit it.
And
you
yes,
take off.
The wonderful editor Julian. He's
How many people work at this company?
as of right now, it's just 2. It's Jake is the producer, and then Julian is the marketing executive and video editor.
Wow. And they have 7 artists, and you're one of them.
Yes.
Cool. And so, where do you consider the next step for you? What's your goal for your now that deal is coming to a close in the next a year or something like that?
Yeah.
What are you looking to continue doing the YouTube thing? Are you looking to shift into something else, or if you ran the world and you could have whatever you want, what would be next?
Well, no. I mean, my hope is to always be doing YouTube, because it's a fantastic base, and it's always something I can go back to, and it's totally my baby. So I want to keep doing YouTube, as much as I possibly can. And then the next step, I think, is to try to bridge that gap between YouTube and mainstream, which is this really confusing, hard thing that I don't think anybody quite knows how to do yet, which is awesome, because it means I get to be one of the first people that tries to do it. And so... My next steps is writing a kick butt album, and yeah, which hopefully be writing with Bo for this one. Oh yeah, he looks behind him.
Yeah.
He's so modest.
Well, I gotta say, it's easy and fun writing with you. And again, back to this, that's one of the things I like about writing is, I mean, outside of songwriting and music and stuff, we're completely different people. You know what I mean? And should be. I mean, I'm a 52-year-old dude who grew up in, the dirty Minneapolis punk rock scene. You grew up in this, tiny town in Wisconsin. But when we're writing together, it's like none of that matters. It's just like we just wrestling with the lyrics and stuff like that, and it's just really fast too. I mean, we didn't the songs that we've written together, we didn't they came pretty quick. You know what I mean? And it's I don't know, that bond between 2 songwriters. You can write with a lot of different people. I've written with a lot of different people, and it's. I'm not going to say it's like super rare that you get that. If you're working with a real songwriter, you're gonna get that. But it's not that common either. You know what I mean? There's something that I just think is so weird and and cool about that. You know what I mean? That we could write songs together. And do you want to play a song for these guys and give them a taste for what your stuff is like?
Yeah.
What's your choice for your first one?
I think we'll do Crescent of the Moon.
This is the song. I mean, when you showed up at my studio, I was not expecting the level of songwriting, because I'm sorry, this was like, you were 18 then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you played me this song, I was actually a little like, oh, I guess I better bring my A game, because this girl does not suck as a songwriter. And I was just floored. And you wrote this one alone by yourself when you were 17?
I think, no, it was like 13. Maybe.
You wrote Crescent of the Moon when you were 13?
Okay, we'll say 15. Yeah, it was one of my first songs where I wrote it, and I was like, oh, yes, I really like this one.
That's what I said when you first played. I was like, ooh, yes, I really like this one. And we did it. We recorded this for our album, a really great version. So.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, Crescent of the Moon.
Soft kiss blown on the breeze, and they're waiting for you. With life, if it's a hit or miss, then I'd ask for only this. I'd whisper, oh, my one wish on the wind, hope it finds you. But if you want to break all the rules, well, I'd do that. I'd do that for you. And tonight I want to dance with you. Slows down when you're suffering, but rushes by when everything is so wonderful. But with time, there's never quite enough. But I find no reason to rush as the sun is setting on us, taking the beauty of the night. But if you want to break all the rules, well, I'd do that. I'd do that for you. Tonight I want to dance with you. with you on the crescent of that moon. Oh, oh, moon. Oh,
Thank you.
15. You suck. When I was 15, I was like, I think Bachman Turner Overdrive is really cool. That's just freakish. So you can see why I was like pretty excited when she showed up with that song. You know, it's pretty easy as a producer to make a song like that sound good, and it does sound really good on the record. So let's talk about that record. That was your first like release of original material. Yeah. And what surprised you? We had Peter Anderson, my drummer, and Steve Price, who you all know, being the rhythm section on the record, and then you and me did everything else. I think we did. Did anyone else play anything on it or anything? I don't think we had any other singers or anything. No. What surprised you about the making of the record? What do you feel like you learned during that process since it was your first one?
I mean, going in, like I liked my voice, and I knew I was a good singer, but before I went into the studio and worked with Kevin Bowe, I didn't know what I could do with my voice, and so he was the first one who was just like, "Well, just improvise." I'm like, "Improvise?"
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
you didn't like that. You did
I'm
not like that.
I'm like, what is this? Improvise? So that was my first experience with improvising, and now, I mean, like if you look at me now, I can just go into the studio and like do whatever I want to do, and so I feel like I learned so much about my voice and just exactly what I could do with my voice. And
you were almost like struck me like a classical musician were, because if you ever want to see a deer in the headlights, tell a classically trained musician, okay, on the outro vamp of this song, just improvise. And they're like, I play what's on the paper, you know, because it's all about, classical music is all about discipline. You have a lot of discipline in your playing too, but I remember you were like not wild about that, but I didn't know that. So now since then, improvising has become second nature?
Yeah, I mean, like with Jake in the studio, he'd be like, you know, I don't really like the melody that they put there, so just change it, just do it. And I'll go in there, I'll change it. And he's like, I didn't mean do it right on your first try, but awesome.
It gets easier improvising.
Yeah, definitely.
And how about songwriting-wise? What have you been up to since we made that record, songwriting-wise? I mean, I know that the YouTube thing is keeping you. How much of your time does that take? I mean, it's not just LA because there's constant maintenance on the
Yeah, I mean,
channel.
I'm on YouTube every day. It's like it's
a business.
Yeah, it's all day, every day is what I'm doing, and I have to actually like schedule time to not do it. And but yeah, it takes up most of my life. I mean, like weeks at a time in LA, and then just every day with YouTube stuff. But I mean,
and you can't farm any of it out to like someone who could intern for you or work for you or something.
I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to hire both my parents as my interns. I'm going to pay them though.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. So then, if they screw up, if they're lazy or show up late, then you'd fire them, or would you just dock their pay?
No, I just go make them clean the barn.
Clean the barn. You have a barn?
Yeah, my grandparents do. Horses.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them.
So cleaning the barn, that means like...
They poop. Oh. Yeah.
Wow. Ugh, our lives are so different. I mean, I have a garage. Like, there's 2 cars in it, but they don't poop. I mean, so
well, that's good for you.
Yeah, it is. It works out great for me. So what have you been doing songwriting-wise? Have you been writing a lot since that record, or not as much as you'd like?
I mean, I try to write all the time. It doesn't always work. Like, I was on a really awesome schedule where I was writing something every day, and it was so awesome, and then I don't know. It's like exercising where you're like, oh, I'm going to do it, and you like get really excited, and you exercise for like a month, and then the next month you're like, oh, man. I don't know why I exercised last month, because this month I was so bad.
I know what you mean, because I get so busy with producing and, you know, working here and doing, and then also the maintenance thing of my band is my YouTube channel, and I get so busy with that. I got to book some gigs. I got to promote these gigs that I have and do the Facebook invitation, all that kind of stuff. And then you realize a month's gone by and you haven't written a song, and it makes you, do you ever get freaked out like it's gone? Like the songwriting mojo.
I mean, I get that feeling. That's what I call the insecure Maddie. But then like the confident Maddie will come back and be like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll get it. We'll get another one soon.
You're not the only one. I think almost every songwriter, I know myself included, gets that. It's like there's an angel on your shoulder saying, you can do this, you got this. And then the devil's like, it's gone. You'll never write again. Finish him. It's like an internal video game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been doing a lot of co-writing, which has helped me really explore what my strengths and weaknesses are as a songwriter, because when you have somebody to kind of like balance you, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is what I do really well. And so that's been fun, the co-writing experiences. And just, for me, I just accepting me as who I am, and I'm kind of a weird person. And so my songwriting tends to be weird. Like the last song that him and I wrote together is probably like the closest song I've ever written to like just being totally myself. And so just embracing that has helped with my songwriting
and
too.
That one came right out.
Yeah.
What have you been listening to lately, specific to songwriting, not production or anything like that, that's where you're like, this person, I want to be able to write like that?
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Ellie Goulding. I think she's just a brilliant songwriter. And then Lana Del Rey, lyrically, is just, she's just crazy. It's like taking a novel and then like putting lyrics to it, and it's like the most beautiful thing ever. So Lana Del Rey, Ellie Goulding, Kelly Clarkson, those are...
What's up with Lana Del Rey and Axl Rose? Ew. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't do a lot of
is.
the tabloid stuff. I just listen to their music.
No, but I mean, I just saw that on TV and I was just like, what? I like that record. She got a bum rap in the beginning. She had one lame performance on Saturday Night Live, and so everyone is like, and I think her dad is like a music industry executive, so people leapt to this conclusion or this assumption that she had bought her way in or something like that, which is totally not the case.
She's a fantastic songwriter.
Yeah. What do you think of the production on that record?
The first one's amazing, and I'm excited to hear what she's been working on, new stuff in Nashville. I'm excited.
She's writing in Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be the end of her.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. Who else? Anyone else? Do you listen to a lot of old music too, or mostly new stuff?
I've been trying to. God, I don't remember the names of the songs.
Probably a lot of
some
stuff
Heart.
Some
I've listened to a lot of Heart.
They have one song I like called "Dog and Butterfly," but the rest of it, I grew up when I was in high school. That was on the radio constantly, and so it was like I kind of rebel against music like that. But
some Fleetwood Mac too.
Have you dealt with your she has a phobia of the Hammond B3 organ. She wouldn't let any organ tracks be on her record. Is that still going on?
Yes.
What's up with that?
No organ, please, no.
What?
I don't know. It makes me think of like some old musty church and like, a lady with like really curly hair sitting there, and it's like
Dana, who looks like Dana Carvey, like church lady.
I just hate it so much.
I'll tell you, getting this kid to do anything in the studio that she didn't want to do, just forget about it, because she knows what she wants to do and she's going to do that, and she's not going to, not that you wouldn't go for any of my ideas, but I could never get you to usually I can get people to do stuff like, oh, just try it, we don't have to keep it, but just try it. And she's just like, no organs, absolutely. It's like you're a vegetarian in that regard.
The ongoing joke was that he was going to, when he mixed my CD, he was just going to add organ to every song and then see if I noticed it.
Yeah, solos,
He didn't do it, but...
Deep Purple. Let's hear another song. What do you want to play?
I'll tell you guys a new one that I wrote like a couple weeks ago.
Alone or co-write?
Alone. One of my first songs I've written alone in a while, so I was pretty happy about it.
That's a good feeling if you've been co-writing a ton lately and then you pop one off alone, you're like, I still got it.
All right. So this one's called Like It, Love It, Gotta Have It. And the inspiration for this song is my current boyfriend and I went to Cold Stone Creamery a lot when we were on our first couple of dates. And the flavors of ice cream there or not the flavors, the cup sizes aren't just small, medium, large. It's like it, love it, gotta have it for the cup sizes. So I was like, oh, I like that.
How long does he have to be your boyfriend before you stop referring to him as my current boyfriend?
My current boyfriend. You're right. Well, it's just I have a lot of songs, and even when I write songs, sometimes they're about old boyfriends.
I bet you he loves those songs.
Well, when there are songs that are like making fun of the old boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Come and kiss my lips, get that fix, baby, that's my wish.
Like it, love it, gotta have it. Think that I picked up a habit. Oh. Shame on me from in too deep. Gotta give me something I can keep. Let's start with your heart, baby. That's all I really need. If you wanna chase, have a taste. It'll leave you crazed. Keep it coming, you'll be running, baby, through my mind all day. Oh, just one hit of your love so sweet. Now I need you like a heartbeat. P.S. You're the best, and yes, that's what I mean. Cause if you get it, then you got it, and it's good to go. Cause I know that you know I know. So what are you waiting for? You've got me like lock and key. I'm waiting outside your door. Cause you've got what I like, you've got what I need. It's not complicated, give it to me. Cause I know you know, so what are you waiting for? Like it, love it, gotta have it. I think I lost my wits and I tripped and fell into it. I don't know if it's really real, but it feels like a big deal. And my heart's getting its hopes up. Don't let me down unless we're falling in love. If you're asking, it's yes. If you're leaving, then let's go now. Cause if you get it, then you got it, and it's good to go. Then I know that you know I know. So what are you waiting for? You've got me like lock and key. I'm waiting outside your door. Cause you've got what I like, you've got what I need. It's not complicated, give it to me. Cause I know you know. So what are you waiting for? Like it, love it, gotta have it. Driving me crazy, waiting for you, baby. I'm holding my breath, I'm scared to death that it might break me. But you're so beautiful in this light, like an illusion, but it feels so right. Please don't be a magic trick. You're causing so much havoc, but I gotta have it. Cause I know you know, so what are you waiting for? You've got me like lock and key, I'm waiting outside your door. Cause you've got what I like, you've got what I need. It's not complicated, give it to me. Cause I know you know, so what are you waiting for? Cause I know you know, so what are you waiting for? Like it, love it, gotta have it.
I like havoc with have it. Very clever.
Thank you.
That's a good one. But you guys see what I mean about the language. The other thing I noticed that happened near the end of that record is you started getting more, I don't know if you're listening to more R&B, but there's more R&B inflections in your vocal phrasing. So instead of like, you know, in the beginning of that record, I know you were listening to a lot of Taylor Swift and even some country and stuff like that. And it seems like, I don't know, is more of your writing now with that kind of rapid fire and kind of off-kilter vocal phrasing, is that kind of showing up more in your writing now?
Yeah, I mean, I covered an Eminem song on YouTube, which was totally like nothing that I normally would do, and I did it because my brother loves Eminem, so I just, you know, covered an Eminem song, took the rap and like put melody to it, and it ended up, you know, being my first video to hit 1 million views, and it just went viral for me, and I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome, because I love doing it. It was one of my favorite songs to ever learn, and so I was like, well, you know, I should start writing like that. I should start, you know, doing some what I call rapid lyrics, and yeah, I love it. It's so
cool.
much more fun.
Not just
to write
rapid, but the beat falls in unexpected places in the vocal phrasing, and it makes it like really interesting. It's kind of something I hear a little bit of that on the radio lately, but you're kind of bridging something there between pop and R&B in a way that I haven't heard done a lot. Or I certainly don't have a lot of artists I work with that are doing that. So it's kind of seems like you're getting more this is a typical thing I think with young writers. You're getting more you now.
Yeah, definitely.
Which that's the trick. Because some people never get there. They're really, really good, but they never figure out that thing that makes them different from everybody else, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I first started writing with you or doing the EP with you, it was always like I brought a song to you and I was like, well, I was thinking about Carrie Underwood when I wrote this song. I was thinking about, Kelly Clarkson, like what would she sound like if she sang this? And it went, away from writing it for another artist and writing it for myself. Well, what would I sound like?
Yeah, I think all those influences kind of, once you've been doing it for a while, they run together and get mixed up with each other, and then it comes out. And then also you're learning a few things that are just not from other artists, but that are from you, and you add those in, and then all of a sudden it's a brand new, like food, It's just it's your own recipe. So how about live performance? Now you have done, the other thing I noticed, we did a gig in, it wasn't in your hometown, but it was fairly close. Was that Menominee?
Yeah, it was Menominee. And
this is with the Allison Scott band, so it's me, Peter, Steve, and Allison, and you came and we backed you up on a song live, and you also did one solo. You don't have like a ton of stage fright. That's not like part of your thing.
I mean, I've never had stage fright like to the point where if I go up there and I'm so nervous, it doesn't show. Like actually how it shows is I have like a leg that just doesn't stop moving. But that's where my nerves, that's all that it shows. Like it was never something that affected my voice, and I just kind of I channeled it differently. I decided like, okay, when I feel nervous, I'm not gonna call that being nervous, I'm gonna call that being excited. And so the more I like tricked myself into thinking, oh, this is exciting, I love this feeling, then it was less nerves and more like, yes.
It's a good to channel it like that, because I mean there are artists, really successful artists, that are crippled by stage fright their whole career. Carly Simon, great singer-songwriter from the 70s, and she suffered from stage fright her whole career, crippling, just like debilitating stage fright. So that's lucky that's something that you don't have to mess with. Do you wish you were performing live more? You enjoy it? You like working in audience? And
yeah, I love performing live, and once I finish the next album and have like enough original material to be able to tour and then actually be singing originals and not a ton of cover songs, which I love the cover songs, but obviously I love my songs more.
Well, yeah, and also I mean you're a strong writer. You should be. Plus there's such a ceiling on how far you can go with the covers. You know what I mean? But with you have a great original song. I think the goal is not to be doing covers, but to have other people doing your songs as covers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times, and it's awesome. There's never a better feeling than hearing somebody else cover one of your songs. It's an amazing thing. If you're driving in your car and you hear one of your songs on the radio and you're like, oh God, I like that song. Holy crap, I wrote that thing. I'm thinking that you're probably going to get to that point. So why don't we see if there's some questions from the audience. I figured that there would be massive questions because this is I brought in someone who's like your guy's age. There's one. Is there something, I got to repeat the question so that we get them on the video feed. Is there something you did to market yourself on YouTube, or did you just keep uploading videos?
Well, just uploading videos was the start of it. And then I started incorporating social media, which it's awesome, like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Keek and whatever all the other ones are. I just got really well versed in how to use those, and so social media helps. And yeah, posting lots of videos. And I also, when I post my cover songs on iTunes, I post them in an album form rather than a lot of singers will do individual, like single downloads. And what's awesome about that is that if one song on that album does really well, then that one song is attached to a whole album of songs, and it's not just one single doing well. Now it's potentially the whole album doing well. So that's helped tremendously with sales. Yeah.
How many downloads have you sold on iTunes, ballpark? Originals and covers combined.
Oh my. 150,000 so far in the past year.
That's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
I think that's a good start.
I'm
A healthy start.
I'm pretty happy with it.
You should like keep doing this. You know. Do we have any other questions? Here's one. When did you know that music was going to be big for you, going to be your life?
I mean, I've known all my life that music is the thing that I understood it, I got it. Because I have dyslexia, and so a lot of things didn't make sense to me, like math and reading. It was just so hard, and just to be good at those, I had to work so much harder than everybody else that when I found music, it just clicked, and I was like, oh, finally, something that I just do it. I don't have to, figure out how to do it.
That's right. I forgot about the dyslexia thing, and that's you have serious dyslexia, right?
Yeah, like it's pretty, like I sometimes, like in English class, sometimes if I was having a bad day, it would be like I'd write entire sentences backwards or like entire words backwards, and the teacher would be like, I think you're having a bad day. You might want to work on that.
You showed up at church to worship dog?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's funny, though, those kind of things like dyslexia or different learning disabilities or ADD, I think that there's, for a long time in our society, there was a movement to act like, well, like 50 years ago, if you were left-handed, they'd send you to doctors to try and teach you to be right-handed because that was wrong to be left-handed. And that's so stupid because, like in baseball, being left-handed means you have a better chance of being a great pitcher.
Yeah.
Because most people are right-handed, they're not going to be able to hit as easy on a left-handed pitcher. I think the same thing is true with dyslexia. It's hard for me to imagine that your dyslexia doesn't have something to do with your gift of language, because the way you look at words is not the same as the way normal people look at words. And I think the same thing with ADD, because my wife and both of my kids have ADD. I'm the only one in the house who doesn't have it. She can cook a meal, talk on the phone, and watch TV all at the same time. But if I'm reading a book, my wife says, I could come and pour gasoline on you and light you on fire if you're reading a book and you wouldn't notice it. Because whatever I'm doing, I'm completely into it. I don't think that's a better way to be. Sometimes it's a worse way to be. So do you view your dyslexia as, do you think maybe it's a key to some of your songwriting?
Oh, I definitely think so. I mean, what dyslexia has done for me, I kind of like to explain it like my brain works like spaghetti, and then somebody who doesn't have dyslexia, it works like a waffle. Okay, so spaghetti, like everything's touching and everything's messy, and it doesn't really make sense. And like my way of getting to something may be like completely like the wrong way for somebody else, but totally the right way for me, and like maybe too many steps, but it makes sense to me. But then somebody who's a waffle, it's like everything's very, in the box, very makes sense, straightforward. And so for me, having to be that, creative and like find my way around and different answers so that they make sense to me, I feel like that's why the music and the songwriting is so fun for me, is because it's like finding a creative, different way to say something. And so.
Have you spent a lot of time, you spent some time in Nashville writing?
Yeah, I spent a little time there, yeah.
When you were in Nashville, did you ever eat at Waffle House?
I have.
Waffle House is awesome.
It is awesome.
It just reminded me of that when you said waffle. All I can think of is Waffle House. It's really good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. And it's
like the White Castle of breakfast.
Yeah.
Really.
So you can go there at like midnight and get
some
waffles. Yeah.
Pecan waffles are.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, I don't have ADD at all. Any other questions? Here's one. Have you collaborated with other singer-songwriters on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube is a surprisingly small community, and like if you know one person, you kind of know everybody from YouTube, and so I work with. I mean, I have done collabs with Peter Hollins and Run Aground and Jake Coco and Corey Gray and all the people on my label, and then just recently I did. Actually, it's on iTunes now, but it's a collab with Chester C. and Clara C. That's funny that they both have their last name C, spelled differently.
The Cocos and the C's. And where are all these people? Where do the other artists on the label live?
Oh, well, I'm from Wisconsin. One of the girls is from Oregon. One of the girls is from Canada. One of the guys is originally from Texas. He lives in LA. And then Jake is from Ohio himself, but he lives in LA now. And then Caitlin's lives in LA.
That's so wild. And it doesn't matter where you live.
Nope.
Yeah, that's so cool. Any other questions? Or you guys just want to, there's one in back. You mean like face to? Oh, she wants to know if you've had any weird encounters. You mean not internet, but in like people?
Yeah, I mean, I have in the past, I'd say 7 months, I've started getting recognized at like airports and restaurants, and I was walking around lacrosse with my boyfriend, and we got recognized by somebody on the lacrosse campus, and she kind of freaked out a little bit.
I guess it's probably lucky that you live where you live, or you'd probably be dealing with a lot more of that. You
Yeah.
probably don't put your home address on your YouTube channel,
No, and I also don't like when you post a picture, it doesn't tell you where I am currently.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's got to be more of that coming. That's just part of the deal. You know,
It's still fun for me at this point, so I'm still happy about it. Whenever somebody recognizes me, I'm like, oh, yay. I'm doing something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions? You guys want to hear another song, or should we just bag it? Okay, another song.
I didn't prepare any more originals. I can sing you a cover.
Sing us one cover.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever even heard you do a cover.
Pick a different one than that one if I can't remember the words right away. All right, we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so this is... Those are the chords.
That's an awesome Martin guitar, by the way.
Well, thank you. Got it in that Guitar Center contest. The second time I was in it.
You won it in a contest?
Yeah.
Nice.
I know. I love free stuff. All right, so this is a cover of a Bruno Mars song called Talking to the Moon. I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I want you back. My neighbors think I'm famous, the talk of the town. They say I've gone mad, that I've gone mad. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon. Trying to get to you, in hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Or am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon? My neighbors think I'm crazy, talk of the town. They say I've gone mad, that I've gone mad. But they don't know what I know, 'cause when the sun goes down, someone's talking back, someone's talking back. Oh, and at night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Or am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon now, now, now? Oh, do you ever hear me calling now, now? 'Cause every night I'm talking to the moon, just trying to get to you.
in hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Or am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon?
All right, we got a couple minutes left. I know what we should talk about is, okay, we have our first writing session in quite a while on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
First, I'm not bailing. Are you bailing?
I'm not gonna bail.
Okay.
He's the one who's been rescheduling. Just saying.
Once.
He's super busy.
I am super busy.
He's hard to get a
but
hold
I'm going to
of.
carve out some time for you. So a lot of these guys are not, hey, get it? They're not well versed in co-writing. Oh, shut up! I have a microphone and you don't. So let's talk about what do you think we're going to do on Thursday? Do you have because co-writing can be a daunting thing if you're not used to it. I'm totally used to it. You're pretty used to it now, so it's not a big thing. But do you have a couple of titles or half-finished songs or something that you were planning on bringing in?
I have something.
Is it a title or is it like a verse or a chorus?
Well, we were talking about it a long time ago. It was a concept of if I could read your mind, I'd know all the things to do to make you mine. Kind of concept.
I remember that because remind me, there's a great Gordon Lightfoot song from back before your parents even met each other, called "If You Could Read My Mind." Gordon Lightfoot kind of sings like that. It's a great song. That's a good idea. I can't remember. I know I have stuff in my little like drawer in my studio, in the Maddie folder of like ideas. Typically, if I come up with an idea for a song from a 20-year-old girl's perspective, I'm probably not going to sing it. I know I could. I think I could still pull that off.
With that hair, he could pull it off, right?
Thanks for finally noticing. God, this doesn't just happen. You too, you got kind of like a borderline Skrillex thing going on there.
I'm growing it out now. I'm growing it out.
So it's been
Skrillex. It's been like 8 or 9 months like this, so.
I think that's actually the whole Skrillex thing is over. Isn't he done? Is he done? Are we done with him? We're not done with him?
Not yet.
Seriously? I'm done with him. He looks just like Corey Haim or Corey Feldman. I can't remember which one of them. Is it the one that died? I think it's the one that died. He looks, how come nobody ever talks about that? That dude looks exactly like one of those Coreys. Like from Goonies or whatever that movie is. You know what I'm talking about? This was, again, before your parents met. Anyway, so we'll probably start with just a grain of an idea. And what will probably work for like 3 hours, 4 tops before we're totally sick of each other.
Yeah.
And what do you think the odds are of we'll get a song finished that day?
I think so.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Good. So our goal is that we're writing songs. We're starting to build up a catalog for you to pick from for your next record of originals.
Yep.
Nice. Good. I'm excited. This will be a good Kickstarter for me to start because I've been on that not writing. I'm too busy to write thing. And so it's good to have an appointment. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in. And what do you guys think?
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. And now you can all go subscribe to her YouTube channel, and then she'll be up to 80,000,001. All right. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. It's a lot of fun.